A farmer stands at the base of a mountain in ancient China, more than 2,500 years ago. The sun is climbing. On one side of the mountain, light spills over the ridge, warming the rocks, drying the dew, waking the birds out of the pine trees. On the other side, shadow still holds. The air is cool. The moss is damp. The stones stay cold to the touch. He looks up at that mountain and notices something so simple that almost every human being who has ever lived has walked right past it. The bright side and the dark side are not two mountains. They are the same mountain. And in a few hours, when the sun moves, they will trade places. That is where the words come from. Yin, Yang. Two of the most misunderstood words in the history of human thought. You have seen the symbol 1,000 times. On a t-shirt, on a necklace, on the back of a skateboard, on a tattoo somebody got at 19 and now half regrets. On the cover of a self-help book a friend handed you during a bad month, and almost every single time you have seen it, you have been told the same thing. Yang is the good side, yin is the bad side. Light versus dark, order versus chaos, good versus evil, God versus the devil in Eastern clothing. That is not what it means. Not even close. That reading is a Western mistake, filtered through centuries of a very particular way of seeing the world, then projected backward onto a symbol that was doing something completely different. And once you see what it was actually doing, you cannot unsee it. It changes how you look at your own life. Your failures, your success, your grief, your peace. The moments you cannot stand, and the moments you never want to end. That is what we are going to do here. Walk back to the mountain where these words were born. Look at the actual Chinese characters and see what they literally meant to the people who used them first. Understand why the symbol is designed the way it is, why there are dots inside the shapes, why the line between them curves instead of running straight. By the end, you will walk away with something you can actually use, not a decoration, a way of moving through your own life without tearing yourself apart. Let us start with the mistake. The Western mind, shaped by roughly 2,000 years of a specific religious framework, learns early to sort the world into two piles, good and evil, heaven and hell, angel and demon, right and wrong. Every story we grow up with, from cartoons to superhero movies, teaches us the same shape. There is a hero, there is a villain, and the point of the story is that the hero destroys the villain. The darkness is the enemy. The darkness must lose. So when someone in London or New York or Sao Paulo looks at that black and white circle, the brain automatically maps it onto the only categories it knows. Black must be evil, white must be good. There must be a winner. There must be a loser. This must be a battle, frozen in a picture. But nothing about the original symbol says that. Nothing. The people who drew it were not thinking about angels and demons. They were thinking about a mountain at sunrise. The word yin, written in traditional Chinese, is a character built from two smaller pieces. On the left, a small hill or mound. On the right, a component meaning cloud, or shadow, or the shade cast by something above. Put those two pieces together and you get the picture. The character was literally drawn to describe the shady side of a hill. That is it. That is the entire word. Not evil, not moral darkness, not the devil under a different flag. Shade. The cool side. The side the sun has not reached yet this morning. Yang is constructed the same way. The same little hill on the left, and on the right a component associated with the sun, with rays, with brightness spreading outward. The sunny side of a hill. The place the light is currently touching. That is where these two words come from. They are not spiritual categories. They are geographical observations. Ancient Chinese farmers, walking their fields at dawn and at dusk, noticed that the same slope of land experienced two completely different conditions depending on where the sun happened to be. In the morning, the eastern face was yang, and the western face was yin. By late afternoon, they had switched. The yang had become yin, and the yin had become yang. Same mountain, same field, same soil. Different moment in the cycle. Think about that for a second. The concept was never about two opposing forces locked in eternal war. It was about one reality showing two faces depending on where you are standing and what time it is. The bright and the dark are not enemies. They are not even really separate things. They are the same thing, viewed from different angles at different moments. That single insight, once you actually feel it, quietly demolishes almost everything you have been taught about how to live. Because the whole modern project, whether you realize it or not, is a war against the shady side of the mountain. We are told to be productive all the time, to be positive all the time, to be growing all the time, to be posting our wins, hiding our losses, hustling through our exhaustion, medicating our sadness, filtering our faces, and pretending that if we just try hard enough, we can live permanently on the sunny slope and never spend a night on the cold one. And it is destroying people, quietly, in every city, in every apartment, in every scrolling thumb at 2 in the morning. The ancient teacher Lao Tzu, writing somewhere around the 6th century BC in a small collection of poems we now call the Tao Te Ching, saw this clearly. He said, and I am paraphrasing the classic translation of chapter 2, "When people see some things as beautiful, other things automatically become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things automatically become bad. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other." Read that again slowly. He is not saying the world is dualistic. He is saying the categories themselves are not enemies. They are dance partners. They generate each other. You cannot have the concept of tall without short. You cannot have the concept of fast without slow. You cannot have a shadow without a light. And you cannot have a light that means anything without a shadow to fall against. Try to imagine, just for a moment, a life that was 100% sunny slope. Every day is a peak day. Every week you win. Every month you level up. There is no rest, because rest belongs to the shady side. There is no grief, because grief belongs to the shady side. No silence, no stillness, no slowness, no not knowing. Just young, 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 forever. That is not a good life. That is a nervous breakdown wearing a smile. That is what burnout actually is, at the deepest level. That is the body and the soul saying, you are trying to live on one face of the mountain, and the mountain does not work that way. Now look at the symbol again with fresh eyes. The line between the black and the white is not a wall. It is not a border with soldiers on it. It is a curve, a soft, flowing shape. The black is not attacking the white. The white is not conquering the black. They are pouring into each other. If you follow the boundary with your eye, you cannot tell where one ends and the other begins. They are held inside a single circle, meaning they are one whole, one system, one mountain seen from both sides at once. The curve is doing something specific. It is showing motion. The design is trying to communicate that the two halves are always in the middle of trading places. What is yang right now is on its way to becoming yin. What is yin right now is on its way to becoming yang. Dawn becomes noon, noon becomes dusk, dusk becomes night, night becomes dawn again. Nothing stops, nothing holds still. The symbol is not a photograph. It is a movement caught mid-turn. Now let us talk about the dots. This is the part almost no one explains, and it is the part that changes things. Inside the black shape, there is a small white dot. Inside the white shape, there is a small black dot. Most people who wear this symbol never think about those dots for 1 second. They assume they are decoration. Little accents to make the design pop. They are not decoration. They are the entire teaching. Inside every state of yang, there is already a seed of yin. Inside every state of yin, there is already a seed of yang. No condition is pure. No moment is total. No phase of your life is permanent. Sit with that for a moment, because that sentence, if you actually feel it, is one of the most freeing ideas a human being can hold. At the absolute peak of your career, at the moment of your biggest win, at the top of the mountain when everything is finally working, the seed of the next struggle is already planted inside that success. Not as a punishment, not as a curse, as a fact of how anything alive works. The peak is where the descent begins. The tide comes in, and then it turns. The flower opens, and then it closes. The empire rises, and then it declines. Everything that goes up is already, in that same instant, on its way back down. That is not pessimism. That is the shape of reality. And here is the other side, which is the side worth hearing more. At the absolute bottom of your worst season, in the middle of the grief, in the middle of the failure you thought would define you forever, in the room where you cannot get out of bed and cannot see a future, the seed of the next chapter is already there, already planted, already growing in the dark. You cannot see it because seeds do not grow in the light. They grow underground, in the cold, in the wet, in the black. The dot inside the darkness is a promise. The dot inside the light is a warning. And together, they are saying the same thing. Whatever you are in right now, you are not stuck in it. The system is already turning. Think about how differently you would live if you really believed that. You would stop panicking at the low points. You would stop clinging to the high points. You would stop treating your sadness like a defect you have to fix by Friday. You would stop treating your success like a fortress you have to defend forever. You would let the day become night, and you would trust that the night was going to become day again, because that is what days and nights do. The Western instinct, when we run into a yin phase, is to declare war on it. We are sad, so we medicate. We are tired, so we caffeinate. We are lonely, so we scroll. We are grieving, so we distract. We are failing, so we hustle harder. We treat every dark stretch as a problem to be solved, an enemy to be defeated, a bug in the system to be patched over as quickly as possible so we can get back to yang. But Lao Tzu, and the whole tradition that flows out of him, would say, you are misreading the situation completely. The yin is not a bug. It is a feature. It is not a malfunction. It is a phase of the cycle doing something necessary that the yang phase cannot do. Rest is yin. Reflection is yin. Grief is yin. Sleep is yin. Slowness is yin. The winter that kills off the old growth so that new growth has room in spring is yin. Without any of those, the whole system breaks. A field that never rests goes barren. A body that never sleeps dies. A mind that never grieves cannot love again. A life that refuses any winter cannot have any spring. The dark is not the enemy of the light. The dark is what allows the light to mean anything at all. If you have ever felt that pressure to always be up, always be growing, always be posting the win, and quietly wondered, what is wrong with me that I cannot keep this up? Nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. You are a human being living inside a system trying to sell you a permanent yang. And the mountain does not work that way. It never has. It never will. So, what does this look like when you actually live it? 3 things. These are the 3 things worth taking with you. The first, stop fighting your yin seasons. When a low period comes, and it will come again after that, do not treat it like a house fire. Treat it like a season. Ask what it is trying to grow in you that the sunny slope cannot grow. Grief teaches things joy cannot teach. Failure teaches things success cannot teach. Loneliness teaches things a crowded room cannot teach. If you white-knuckle your way through every dark phase, trying to sprint back to the light, you will miss the entire lesson the dark was there to give you. The second, stop clinging to your yang seasons. When something is going well, enjoy it fully, love it, be present in it, but hold it with an open hand. Do not build your identity on a peak, because peaks are, by definition, the place the descent begins. The person who cannot bear to lose a good moment turns that moment into a prison. The person who can bear to lose it gets to actually live inside it while it lasts. The third, trust the turning. This is the deepest one. The whole symbol is a picture of a system in motion, and the promise underneath it is that the motion never stops. Whatever you are inside of right now, high or low, bright or dark, sunny slope or shady slope, is not the last chapter. The wheel is turning. The mountain is rotating under the sun. The seed in the dot is already there, in the dark of your night or the light of your day, waiting to become the next thing. That is what yin and yang actually mean. Not a war between good and evil, not God and the devil in a black and white cartoon, not two enemies fighting for control of the universe. A mountain, a moving sun, two faces of one reality. A soft curve where the two pour into each other, and two tiny dots reminding you that nothing is pure, nothing is permanent, and nothing you are inside of right now is the end of the story. The farmer at the base of the mountain, 2,500 years ago, understood something that most of the modern world has forgotten. He was not trying to defeat the shade. He was not trying to trap the sun. He was standing there watching the light move and letting it move, and knowing that by tomorrow morning it would move again. That is the invitation the symbol has been quietly holding out to you every time you have walked past it. Stop fighting the mountain. Learn the rhythm. Let the light become dark, and let the dark become light. And trust that the same sun that set tonight is going to rise somewhere on the other side of the ridge in the morning. If this opens something up for you, the best thing you can do is subscribe, leave a comment, and share this with somebody who is fighting their own yin season right now and does not yet know that it is not their enemy. That is genuinely how this reaches more people. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourself and go easy on the shady side of your own mountain. It is doing more for you than you know.